Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Force here with some more StarCraft 2 commentary. Today we will be looking at a series of games between Feast and Empire Kaz. This is going to be a Terran versus Protoss, Kaz versus Feast, starting off here on GSL Daybreak. In the upper right hand spawn position we have got our red Protoss player Feast. He is currently the number 30th ranked Grandmaster on the European ladder with 100 wins, 39 losses, giving him a 71.94% win ratio. And his opponent down over here in the lower left-hand position, our blue Terran player Empire Kaz, currently the number 6 ranked Grandmaster on the European ladder with 313 wins, 104 losses, giving him a 75.06% win ratio. Man, oh man, those are some crazy high win ratios. Now looking forward to this series here between Kaz and Feast. And starting things off, Kaz will be going for the wall off. Oh, how exciting early game StarCraft is. I've had people say, Force, you should just skip the first 5 minutes of every game. And you know what? A lot of times you probably could, but there's stuff that goes on, especially once scouting takes place, and I like to be able to explain that stuff for you. Plus, that'd be kind of stupid if I just were to skip the first 5 minutes of every match. And every once in a while you do get crazy early game aggression, and it's great to see that as well. And hey, look at that, it's like my logo. Those look exactly like my chevrons. How interesting. It's like the game was made just specifically for me. No, probably not. Feast now moving out with his scout. He has dropped his gateway, also has his initial assimilator coming through. We'll be seeing a second pylon soon. There it is. And moving up with that probe scout. Unfortunately, he won't be able to do much at all as Kaz has finished the wall off, going with no gas. It will be a 1 Rax expand and lifts off that depot. Blocks that probe from moving through. Now, he knows that there's no gas right now. How does he know that, Dennis? You don't know my name. How does he know that, Force? Well, he knows it because you won't get a second depot that early. You can't afford a second depot that early if you get a refinery. The only way you could actually have those extra resources is by not getting the refinery, which of course saves you 75 minerals and allows you to come out with the supply depot much sooner. The only way this would be possible is if he stopped producing SCVs or if he didn't get a refinery. So Feast is pretty sure right now that first of all, no one stops producing SCVs. That's just craziness. Unless you're going for some all-in push or some craziness, or it's later in the game and you're fully saturated on all your bases, you don't stop producing SCVs in the early game. So the reasonable assumption here for Feast, with all of that stuff in mind, is that with that second depot, finishing that wall off as early as it did, that he's almost 100% certain that there's an expansion coming. Almost 100%. Never hurts to confirm. SCV scout for Kaz moves up. He's going to scout the 1 gate expand here. And again, Feast is doing this under the informed decision that Kaz is himself going for an early expansion. And early game, the Zealot and Stalker, when you go for when you have this style of really fast opener, that 1 Rax expand, you can definitely push early with the Zealot and Stalker, because until that first bunker comes into play, that Terran player can actually have a pretty difficult time against defending that. So that first Zealot making its way on through. We got Marines on the high ground, and this should actually be more than enough. Taking a bit of damage. Oh boy. Oh my gosh. Kaz, man, oh man, he did not have to lose 2 Marines. Honestly, he didn't even have to lose 1 Marine. I am not sure why that transpired the way it did. I mean, I saw what happened, but that was very unnecessary. A little unfortunate there for Kaz that he lost 2 Marines in an engagement which, for all intents and purposes, he should lose nothing. It's odd indeed. Would really like to see a bunker too. I mean, he's got two paths to defend. That's something to keep in mind. Sure, the Stalker pushes up here and the Marines from the high ground. As soon as that Stalker gets close to breaking the plane of vision, they'll already have a few shots off. But what if the Stalker goes over here? Yeah, something to think about. 2 Stalkers in play. Probe looks to be moving forward for a proxy pylon, and there it is. Proxy pylon gets laid down. Now Feast, he will have 3 gateways, 3 warp gates that he will be able to warp out through. And Kaz decided not to go for that early game bunker. He's going very Rax heavy, just going to be getting a ton of Marines. I see. Does he not know that there's a second ramp over here? I'm not quite sure. He's going to grab the tower, but guess what? He didn't even see the units that were pushing up there from the tower. So we got a bunch of Stalkers over here. We got 3 warp gates that are being chrono boosted. This is very indicative that Feast is trying to push out early. He wants to get those next wave of warp ins out as soon as humanly possible. And there it is, Stalker heavy. And here Kaz with no bunker, finally coming out with a bunker. This is going to be a bit too late, I think. Feast now pushing up with his Stalkers, not his Marines, pushing up with his Stalkers, and this many Stalkers early game will be very strong against these Marines. Looking at microing back those injured Stalkers, all those Marines getting torn through. My gosh, Feast with this early game Stalker aggression is doing tremendous amounts of damage to Kaz, who, with being so Marine heavy for some reason, didn't get a bunker. And this is why you need those bunkers, because the Stalkers demolish the Marines without it. Now that a bunker's up, I'm not sure it matters because there are so many Stalkers, he's going to be able to overwhelm these very quickly. Huge loss of SCVs there for Kaz, as he's already lost 15 workers this game. And now this expansion will be forced to lift off. Kaz trying to come out with a bunker inside of his main. You gotta lift that off, buddy. There you go. Don't lose it. He could lose this. He is going to. It's gonna start burning. It's gonna burn. It's gone. See you later, expansion, Kaz. I am not quite sure why. I know how, but I'm not quite sure why these early game events transpired the way that they did, but Kaz, with a few big blunders, ends up losing to a 3 Warp Gate Stalker push. And given the fact that Feast also expanded, this is not something you expect to lose to. Game number 1, going to Feast. Let this be a lesson to all you Terran players out there. If you go 1 Rax expand and you're just sitting Marine heavy, Stalkers can and will ruin your day. A 3 Warp Gate push here from Feast was enough to overwhelm Kaz in the very early stages of the game, simply because his Marines were no match for a little bit of Stalker micro, their extra range and speed. Alright guys, game number 1 going to Feast. We'll be moving on to game 2 in just a moment. As always, if you like the content, please subscribe. Thank you for watching, keep and keep owning.